After losing a prop last week, Dean and I had to get moving, as this week we had a date with the Princess and then off to enjoy the high life for a while. After leaving Waikerie, we were a fair way behind schedule and had to get cruising to regain lost time. Our next stop was Morgan. This is where the Murray changes direction and heads southwards towards Goolwa. The town was founded in 1878 and named after Sir William Morgan. The Morgan Wharf serviced over 20 boats a week in its time, but now acts more as a tourist hub for the larger tourist craft. Today we had a date with the Princess that commanded a certain amount of respect.
67 metres long, 200 feet long, 15 metres in the beam, and to the top deck is 12.5 metres. And to the top of the funnel is about 17.5 metres. The biggest boat in the Murray, in fact, is the biggest paddle boat in the Southern Hemisphere. She is a Mississippi-type boat. The only thing that pushes through the water is that big paddle at the back and stern, and if the engineer doesn't wind up the rubber bands or feed the white mice, we go nowhere.
After leaving the Princess, we continued on downstream through Morgan itself. The main stretch of water through the town is quite heavily populated with riverboats, shacks and some quite modern craft. There is fuel in the water and no shortage of places to stop. And stop we did. The next morning, the signs of Dean and I being cramped up in the little cabin for a week or so were starting to show. We still needed to catch up our schedule, so unfortunately, Lock 1 at Blanchetown was a blur as we headed into Swan Reach. It wasn't long before the cliff formations at Nildotty changed the landscape quite significantly and demonstrated that the river looked somewhat different here many years ago. Shortly after the cliffs ended, the willows started. These were the first willows we had noticed since the border. Our journey was to take a luxurious turn for the better as we came into Bow Hill, as some of the Houseboat Hirers Association members had formed a posse and took it upon themselves to come upstream from Mannum and greet us. And far be it from us to say no to their kind hospitality and get the chance at a shower without Dean. It was quite a procession as the craft made their way downstream towards our next destination.
There's approximately 100 members with the Houseboat Hirers Association, each of them with a or a number of hire boats. We've come together as a group to look at the interests of houseboating, particularly improving standards, safety standards, operational standards, looking at environmental issues along the Murray, anything that relates to houseboating where we can collectively do good for the industry or the public enjoying a trip on a houseboat. To drive a houseboat, you need to be 18 years of age or over, holding a current South Australian or Australian driver's licence. When you come on the boat, we instruct you on how to drive. We tell you everything you need to know, go through some basic river rules, and then we put you out on the river and give you a practical tuition on how to drive the boat. It is very easy. It's something that anyone can do.
As Pete pointed out, anyone can do it, and by this time, we were trying to trade our speed machine for something a touch more leisurely and luxurious.
Really anything that you'd expect to find in a well-furnished apartment or holiday room or hotel, or for that matter, all the features that you'd have in your own home. Colour TV, video, CD player, stereo cassettes, mobile phones, dishwashers, washing machines, some boats even with spas. So if people would like to know more about the Houseboat Hirers Association, we have a free brochure, and by ringing our hotline number they can contact us and we'll send them all the information they need to book the right boat for their holiday.
That night the association members found a great little spot near Mannum and put on a barbecue for us. It was great to hear some of the tales that one would expect from such a group.
Okay, come on you guys, food's up, come and get it.
As the fire dwindled, Dean and I found ourselves alone once more. I've told him about those little noises he makes in mixed company. The next morning, we had a quick look around the town. Mannum was where the steamboat trade was born in 1852, where Captain William Randall built the Mary Ann. Today the PS Marion sits where Randall moored her and plays host to many historical facts about the area. This part of the river is cram-packed full of history, with old riverboats and shacks lining the edge of the banks. And right next door to most of them is modern contrast with the luxury houseboats and homes just waiting for the nice days. But alas, it was time to go. The weather from the last week or so had left us and a storm was brewing in the southwest. In fact, it wasn't long before the brewing was complete as the rains and winds moved in. Well, I wonder what tomorrow holds for us.